in all our conversations, yes, infrastructure is always a way to build economies going forward, especially coming from COVID. But what we sense now is this view that a lot of resources which were previously meant for infrastructure has been diverted to help battle COVID, and it's going to continue for a while more, right? And so basically people are a little bit more constrained. PPPs are an interesting way of how we might bring the private sector, but even without it being PPPs, I think all the governments are looking to how they can work closely, a little bit more closely with the private sector. So for example, in the countries that we are active in, which tends to be ASEAN and a little bit of South Asia, actually the governments are very open to the private sector coming in at a very early stage. So like Swan mentioned, right, come in at an early stage, get clarity in terms of what do you need to get private capital in. So we are only going to come in if you can meet these set of rules, right? What those sets of rules are. And of course, we can get into a discussion of the standards in the region, etc. But that's probably for a different conversation. But they're happy to work with the private sector and then look at what are the levers that they can move in order to get more private sector to come into this. So there's a willingness, there's a readiness to look at this. And so, of course, working with the private sector early also helps to build some of the capability within the government, so that will help to unlock that first point that I talk about, right? How do we get more of these marginally bankable projects in a much larger way to come out to the private sector?